So now let's say we've got an idea of where we're going. We've done some analysis, and we're trying to find, we saw some companies, like in our microdialysis study, we saw some companies here. And we'd like to find some of these companies. And we don't know how to find them. Well, the great news is you never have to worry about that again. We have this program called Pipeline Partners. And Pipeline Partners gives us, we contact companies every year and say, what are you looking for this year? They're contacted in the summer. What are you looking for this year? What kinds of stuff are you trying to find? Here's the technologies that Bayer, for example, is looking for. And they are looking for a variety of biomarkers and animal models for menstrual bleeding. So it may not be, they're diagnosing, here's a variety of stuff in women's health, diagnosing brain tissue, small molecule stuff they're looking for. And notice down here it says there's a series of slides which have been attached to this profile. And if you do not see the company you want, you just let us know, and we will go and contact them and fill out a form like this for them and get them in to the Pipeline Partners program. If they don't want to participate, we will find somebody like them. Notice also that one of the nice things about these profiles is it tells you how they evaluate things, what information you should provide, how long it takes, what kind of deals they'll do, how mature the technology should be, so on and so forth. And as always with Foresight, we know exactly when the data was collected because it's down here. And so we have, in effect, the footnote for this. Everything is footnoted in the system. So we have the Pipeline Partner system that is a really good tool for finding licensees or strategic alliance partners. Suppose you want venture capital, though. Well, you go in here, and we have all the venture capitalists and angels we can find in the U.S., Canada, South America, and Europe. And again, this gets updated annually. So it is current as of each summer.
And is that searchable?
Yes, that's also searchable. And so that gives you another resource. But again, the whole idea behind this is you say, dang, I'm not finding what I'm looking for. Go to chat, ask for help. Cannot emphasize that enough. Now, there are some other tools in here. Before we get to that, let me just show you one other thing, though. If you are going to do a royalty, you're looking for royalty rates, we have a royalty rate database. I'm just going to click one at random. And this royalty rate database is culled from the Securities and Exchange Commission. There are thousands and thousands of royalty rates in the SEC because companies report them when they do a deal that is seen as seminal for their business. They have to report this because it affects the price of the stock. And so we clip out of there and we summarize the deal in terms of what's the royalty rate and what's going on. And then we give you the full text of the agreement. And so this is a short agreement. Some of them are much longer. But there you get the full text of the agreement. And the information you'll find is what's available in the SEC. If the information's reclused in the SEC filing, we obviously will not have it. So now we're moving along, and we've seen where the royalty rates are, and we've seen how we can find that. There are some other tools in here to help you, and I want to go through that very quickly. Notice that we're looking at blood stuff, and this shows up that obviously means we have to think about FDA and those kind of things. The K2 stands for the know-how knowledge base. That's also searchable. The wiki contains just a bunch of tips for dealing with things and insights. And again, if you don't see what you want, you're trying to deal with something, you go up here and you click chat, and then somebody develops a wiki entry for you, and voila, it is there. Now, one or two other things I want to show you. We do have spreadsheets in here, and you click here and you would get into your spreadsheets, and I've already opened one up to save us some time. This is an example of one of the spreadsheets. Suppose I'm trying to negotiate a deal or figure out what really is the royalty rate for my technology, because I look at the ones in the royalty rate database and I find a bunch of things, but they're not exactly my technology, so I have to say I'm going to adjust from them to my technology. And when I do that, I put in what I think is the industry average norm. I'm looking at 6 or 7 of these, and I say, well, it looks like for blood things or hemodialysis kind of things, I find 2 or 3 of those maybe, or the royalty rate is somewhere around 5%. Then I can adjust that by the factors here, which are factors from Supreme Court cases and other sources that people who do licensing normally consider, and they bump up or down the royalty rate from the average. And different industries weight things different ways, and if you're confused on how to do this, please feel free to contact us, and we'll sit with you alongside and work the royalty rate database with you, or a royalty rate calculator rather with you. So we have tools like this that make it easy for you. Oh, I want to show you one other thing real quick. See this little checkout button? None of your data ever goes onto our machine. You're always downloading onto your machine. Download a template, your machine. Download a spreadsheet, your machine. So you never have to worry about confidentiality. You're not loading anything up to us except for search terms. Let's go through what we have here. The Patent Matrix Engine is a tool that you can use to determine if an invention is unique enough, novel enough, to likely make it through patent scrutiny by the Patent Office. And it looks at how the claims in your patent relate to claims in other patents. This is just a simple revenue projector that you use to calculate revenues and market sizes. That's the royalty rate calculator. Sometimes you say, you know, I'm not sure what the actual numbers are. It would be easier to draw the curve and then derive the numbers from the S-curve rather than the other way around, because it reminds me of something I did before, and I roughly know what that was, so I'll draw that curve and then I'll tweak it. And that's what this tool does, and allows you to derive the numbers that way for the revenues. So we have a bunch of tools, and we are adding very soon a number of other tools that are valuation tools. So there'll be a valuation for technology, a valuation for company, and a real options spreadsheet, which will be up there within the month. Now that we're moving into the summer, all the major upgrades are being done on the system. And one final resource, if you're trying to write SBIR proposals, which we know lots of small companies do, there's how to use the tools in here and crosswalk those into writing an SBIR proposal for various agencies, such as, well, let's say you want to apply to the EPA. You open this up, you do a go, no go, following the instructions in the go, no go, and here's how you move from the go, no go into the EPA proposal. And Foresight knows a fair amount about the SBIR program. We've been a commercialization support contractor for most of the agencies. We wrote the SBA's proposal preparation book for SBIR and a variety of other things along the way. So there are tools there also to help you with doing SBIR programs.
Phil, now
yes.
Are those templates that can be shared with customers and clients?
Very good question. Everything on this system can be shared. Here's how you share it. You bring them into your office, they look at it. Or you can print it out. The only thing you can't do is pass the password to somebody outside your organization. But you can print out whatever you want, or, you know, and if you say, well, gee, I don't want to print this out, it would be nicer if I had this electronically, so I could just ship it to them. Can I do that? What you do is you go back to Home, click on yon old Help button. There's the Help button, the chat. Say, can I do this? And somebody will give you an answer. And 9 times out of 10, or 99 out of 100, I can't think of where it's ever been a problem, in all honesty. We'll give you an electronic version of what you're looking for, so you can just ship it to somebody.
Great.
But, you know, so for example, if you had a market overview on that microdialysis, instead of printing it out, you could clip it and paste it into an email to somebody. We're fine with that. What we don't want them doing is obviously taking the password, giving it to a competitor, the competitor starts using our system, and so on and so forth, and free riding on our work. There is also, by the way, in here for you, if you're just trying to sort of keep up on commercialization news and interesting things, there's some blogs that go on that track various areas. And we also we tweet sometimes when we're at meetings and so on and so forth. So that gives you a quick overview on what is going on in T2+2.